Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This one is a continuation of the RetroBat build, and in this one we're going to be adding I guess two more slightly modern systems in, well, I say modern, but the original Xbox, and I guess slightly more modern is TeknoParrot, which for those who don't know is basically an emulator of sorts for playing arcade games that are kind of Windows based. I guess Windows based, but PC based systems. So they're, I say, relatively easy. I guess I don't do it; they do it to port across to play on your PC. So a lot of these sort of the current and modern arcade games you can play with TeknoParrot. Obviously, you need a more powerful PC to do it and a decent graphics card, etc. But yeah, it's get it up and running. It's a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's crack on. So left hand side, we've got our RetroBat folder, which obviously for me on my X drive is wherever you put it. So let's go into the ROMs folder, and as always there's going to be a pre-existing folder. So for Xbox, it's empty. Here's the files that I've downloaded. There are the links in the description. Let's open up 001. That's this it's a multi-part zip file to make it easier to download and manage, etc., rather than one huge big download. Like I say, these are bigger games. I'm pretty sure the Xbox games are on DVDs, so they can vary in size. They're but at least these are slightly smaller ones, but they can vary in size and be quite big. So we've got three here basically to get us going and show you how to get them going and set up the emulator, etc. So we're going to do what we always do: just drag and select all this lot. And then normally I just pick these and drag them across and drop them, and that does the normal two-stage copy where it extracts a temporary location and then copies into the final. But in theory, if I click in the address bar here and do Control-C, or you can do right-click, copy that text into the clipboard, I come back here and click extract, ask where to, I just do Control-V to paste, and you can see here it's going to put them straight in here. Now what this should do is do a one-step extraction. So fingers crossed. Oh, and as always, password. So this one is build with a capital B and exclamation mark. So you can see the files appearing here. Hopefully it should be a one-step extraction this time. I mean, there's nothing. Drag and dropping is it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It's probably more convenient. You don't have to type anything in or get anything wrong, just drag it to where you want it. But depending on the size you're extracting, again, obviously you need that additional space on your hard drive to effectively does it twice. Extracts it and then copies it from there to the destination. So temporarily you need double the space, but this method should get around that. So just let this finish. Still going. So yeah, just while that's going, obviously just want to thank everyone for the support. I recently passed 1,000 subscribers, which is great. That was the kind of target I was going for. So yeah, really happy with that. Thank you much, everyone. So yeah, if you're liking the videos, like this video, please give it a like, give it a subscribe. So that helped me out. Just continue to the next milestone. So yeah, thank you again, and hopefully you're finding the videos useful and interesting. Like I say, this RetroBat one's been running for a while now. I've started a Batistero one alongside it, and then the plan is to do others, but other front ends and other systems, but try and get this one finished off, and also trying to get a complete set for RetroBat. So for all the systems it supports, which is something like 140, 160, so it's quite a big number, and I'm getting quite close to that now. Getting quite close to getting a full set. So once I've got the others, I'll be able to do some more videos on them, which will be pretty cool. Anyway, that's now finished. So let's close this and then quickly go to our TeknoParrot folder, which is here, and then we'll go back to the TeknoParrot stuff I've grabbed. And we'll do extract, Control-C in here, Control-V, and it's the same password as the other one, so build exclamation mark. And again, the TeknoParrot games can vary in size. They can be quite big because, like I say, they're kind of more modern arcade games. Or the Mario Kart GP has been around for a while, but it's still in arcades now. It's a fun game to play. But like I say, yeah, because they're kind of PC-based arcade machines, TeknoParrot kind of takes them and I guess transforms them so you can actually play them on a regular PC. So, like I say, yeah, they can vary in size. This one's a bit of a smaller one, which is good. But again, this is around adding a game and showing you how to set it up. You can then grab the other games and drop them into this folder here. So actually, while it's doing that, you can see you basically get the game in a folder, and all the data and the files are going to be in here as it's extracting. Don't worry too much about those at the moment, but the top level folder should be the game and the name, and then have the extension .TeknoParrot added onto the end, and that does vary. There's a guide here on the RetroBat site which kind of shows how to set it up, which is what we're going to go through in a minute. But then when you get to it, your actual ROM folder should be, either it supports these three different extensions, so .TeknoParrot, .parrot, or .game. So as long as your folder is called that, you're good to go. So this is just about finishing now, and that's done. And as usual, we've got the artwork in there ready. Same for the Xbox One. Okay, so we can close this now. Let's close this. So let's crack on with the Xbox One. So let's go back to the root of the folder, launch the exe. Just loading. Just drag it into view a bit more. Okay, so let's go up the list. So Xbox is there. I didn't see TeknoParrot. I'll check for TeknoParrot in a minute. So for Xbox, we're just gonna come into here. Like I say, all the artwork's here already. A couple of games. So let's go into launch one. And obviously this uses an external emulator, doesn't use RetroArch. So first time running it, it prompts you to install it. Just click yes, downloads, installs. Zip by magic. It's booting up again. It's booting at full screen, so I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it. I don't know if I can change from full screen. There you go. So that's loading. So, and that's as simple as that for Xbox. There's no sort of extra BIOS files needed, etc. It just installs the emulator, and away you go. You've got some information here. I mean, once you're in there, you can then obviously tweak the resolution, whether it goes full screen or not, what the window size is. So you can play around with this if you increase in performance if you need to. Yeah, there's a few different options in here. So we'll just close that for now. So it's loading. I have got Xbox controller connected. Not sure the controllers are set up. Well, that was the start button on the Xbox controller, so looks like it's yeah. It's working, and I'll just use select and start to exit. So that's pretty much Xbox done. That's straightforward. As long as your games are, like I say, in the right format, and just in case you didn't catch it as they went in, they are in, if I remember rightly, ISO. Yeah. So they're basically ISO images. I'm not sure whether this emulator is one that supports converting those to CHD, because you know we've done that on a few other systems that are CD based or disk based, and it saves quite a lot of space. But that might sound something to double check whether you can convert these to CHD, save a bit of space. So yes, that's working. So let's just come back out of here. Just check the TeknoParrot. Yep, it is there. And that's picked up the game. Now I know at the moment it's not going to work because you need to manually install the TeknoParrot or download and copy in the TeknoParrot emulator. So I'm pretty sure if I launch this, it's gonna, yeah, missing emulator. So up until now, a lot of the other, all the other external emulators, it'll auto install for you. But again, this one is slightly different. So let's just quit out of here for a second. And like I say, I've got this guide up from the RetroBat wiki, so obviously this obviously all comes from them. I'm not trying to claim it as my own, just kind of, I guess, aiming you guys in the right direction. So basically we go to the TeknoParrot website and download the emulator. So let's just click download. Not quite sure what the legacy one is, whether that's a manual. So I'm just going to save this. Just save it into the TeknoParrot folder. There it is. Just pop that in there. Right. So if I open a folder, I'll download it to. It's just in the source folder where I had all the games. Yeah, there's everything inside it, so I find it easier with 7-zip. Just to right click, go to 7-zip and say extract here, or extract to that folder, sorry. So I'm pretty sure this is, you know, run it and it'll go off and download the latest version for you, which is, looks like this. So obviously to run TeknoParrot there's a couple of dependencies, things like having DirectX, and a few other bits and pieces installed. So this helps you do that. So we need to download it and install it basically into the emulators folder for RetroBat. So I've got that. No, not there. So this is my RetroBat build folder for the videos. So we go into emulators, and then there should be an empty TeknoParrot folder here. So it's empty, we'll select that. This is where it's going to go. So we'll just do a full install. Like I said, it's going to go off and download these various packages. So there's the TeknoParrot emulator itself, there's the user interface for it, there's an API for, I guess, running Sega arcade machines, and a whole other bits and pieces around sound, I guess that is. So while that's running, we should be able to see under emulators, yes, it's putting everything into that folder now, and there's the user interface for it. So let's just let this run. Okay. So, if I go search on something up now, I think if we go refer back to the wiki, oh, which is not what let's do. Yes. I think it basically says in here, run it for the first time. Okay, go down the latest version, put everything in emulators. It says unzip it, but we've done the web installer, so it's done it for us. Put everything in there, so that's kind of what we got. If your antivirus does pop up with any warnings, it does say it's okay to approve that, and I have no reason not to believe that, so that's all good. So it says launch the user interface for the first time, which it's prompted us to do anyway. and this is trying to install the game for us. So it recommends going to updates first. So there's a couple of components that need updating. Just click on update. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So, and then yeah, place your games inside the ROM's TeknoParrot folder, which we've already done. So one of the first step we did, so we put it in there with the .TeknoParrot extension on the end. This is just a reminder about doing that, about renaming it. And so if you do have any games like Mario Kart that's got special characters in, any of these characters, don't put those in the folder name, because it will just confuse it and it won't work. It needs to be without any of these special characters. So we've got Mario Kart GP bx.TeknoParrot is what we've got. It says it needs to match the name in here, so you can check this if you want to. I already have. So inside the Emulators TeknoParrot game profiles, there'll be one of these XML files, which is basically a text file with a certain schema on it. You can basically open it in Notepad and just check each one. Within each one, they'll have a game name, and that's the name. So you want the folder that holds your game to match this. Obviously, in this case, without the special character there, just have a space instead, like that. So I hope that makes sense. When you add more games, put them in, put a .TeknoParrot extension on the end of the folder, and then you can just double check that folder name matches what's in the corresponding game profile. And that's pretty much what they've got on the website. It does talk about, so there was one thing about controllers, kind of a big notification, and the auto control configuration is not fully reliable yet. So there might be some cases where you need to remap, and I'll show you how to do that. But there's some default keys here around sort of, the start button, insert coin, because obviously remember these are arcade machines. It's a driving game, how you control it. Max Storm controls. So yeah, it's pretty much download it, run it up for the first time. Okay, so yes, so with TeknoParrot, here's all the games it supports, and you basically add them to your library within TeknoParrot. So if we find the Mario Kart game that we've got, if you see any with Patreon after them, that means that you have to basically sign up for Patreon to donate to TeknoParrot guys in order to get certain games. So you see that there are some in here which are Patreon. And a lot that aren't, so you get plenty of games even if you don't, but if you do want to support the guys and help them develop and help them get more games and more updates, then yeah, do Patreon and you'll get access to these other games, because when you launch them you need to put in a code that you only get if you're donating. So anyway, Mario Kart GP we don't need one for, so we'll say add game. So we've added it into our list now, so it gives a nice little overview. So there's a little wiki link here as well, which is quite good. It kind of takes you to the TeknoParrot website and into their compatibility list. Easy for me to say. And they've got a lot of these you'll find work very well on NVIDIA and mostly AMD. Intel less so, but it's probably a case of just trying it. Tells you where the X is to actually run the game. There you go, look, some extra content as well. Some information around if you want to do LAN gaming, multiplayer, and a couple of questions, and if you've got any errors, some patches and fixes and that kind of stuff. So it's all very handy the way it all links together. So if we go to game settings first, this is where you need to tell it where to look for executable. So there is a little bit set up for this, but not much. So we just click in this space here, and you get a kind of a selection box come up. So we'll go to where our RetroBat folder is, go into ROMs, go into TeknoParrot, into Mario Kart, and then the exe was that one, was it? Mark Final AGB. Obviously it varies, the exe to actually launch the game varies for each one. And then you've got some options around what the input type is, but most of these you can probably just leave as they are. I'm going to leave it windowed so you can see it better when it runs. But here you can set a whole bunch of other options which normally don't really need to touch. You can customize the size that it runs at. And then for networking, if you want to play multiplayer, we've got that in there. But for now, we need to point it to the XE, tell it where the game is, and click save. And then there's controller setup as well. So in here, if you need to, you can manually reassign stuff. But I'm going to try it without at the moment because it's a fairly standard game with a standard Xbox controller, so I'm hoping it will just work. And I think this download missing icons is to download this, but obviously we've already got it. And verify game, I think you'll just for a game that doesn't have the clean file hash list yet. Okay, ignore that then. Open the profile, I think is that XML that I was talking about. Oh, actually there's a profile online for it as well, so okay, you need an account to view that, that's fine. We don't need that. And just double check. Yeah, so mark AGP3 final.exe in the root of the folder. That's very handy. Right, so I think that's pretty much it. We've got it added in TeknoParrot now. So now we can close this. Yep, let's close this. Now if we... didn't mean to click on that either. If we go back here, come on, catch up. So back to the root. Let's start RetroBat now. Again, it's just got off screen, so I'll drag it down. Okay, so we've got TeknoParrot, we're still on the same bit. We've got our America game, let's try and launch it. Cross our fingers. Okay, so I've got a, you probably can't see, but I've got a pop-up saying, do I want to allow TeknoParrot UI to load? Saying yes to that. And it spawns these little windows. And windows like this as it loads. See, these games are a bit bigger, so they can take a bit longer to run. Oh, that pop up for the firewall. Just didn't see it there. But I think that's because it wants to try and do multiplayer and look from other cabinets, so it's looking across your local network. So it'll be okay to. So it's gone full screen. I don't know whether you can see it, even though I did tick the box to say windowed. It is running full screen, but I don't know how I can. How can I get it back? Come on. I don't want to hit escape or anything because that'll probably close the game. Yeah. There you go, close the game and broke it. So it runs full screen. I don't know if you quite saw that. Oh, here's our pop-ups for the firewall. So one of the files within here wants to talk on your network. So yeah, I'm happy to say allow. Allow to that one. I think there's another one popped up as well. I'm pretty sure it's looking for other cabinets if you want to play multiplayer. So that's it. I know it wasn't quite smooth launching that TeknoParrot, but it's because it launched full screen and it was loading the game. I just wanted to try and get it into a window so you guys could see it. But obviously that's not going to play ball, but it works, if you know what I mean. It works, I'm just going to get it in the window. Let's just double check that setting. I'm sure there's a tick box. So let's go to game settings. Oh, I'm sure I ticked that. Custom resolution. Let's try that again. Let's go back. Yeah, windowed. Yeah, so also doing it manually, just launch it here, or you can launch TeknoParrot through RetroBat as well. So let's just try this again and see if we can get it to run in the window, just to prove you guys it works. Again, we've got the little sort of DOS windows open up when this window opens up. Just be patient. And it's gone full screen again. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if you can even see it at all, because it's a big sort of black screen. The bottom right hand corner says now loading. But anyway, it does work, trust me. I don't know what that error is pop up there, but yeah, so that's how to add TeknoParrot. You kind of do it, it's a bit more manual, probably put the most manual one there is. I guess it's a little bit similar to, well, PS3 is very similar in the fact that you have to, it does install the emulator for you, but you have to go and install the firmware and do other bits and pieces. So yes, that's how to do that and how to do Xbox. Hopefully that was helpful. Although you didn't quite get to see Mario Kart running, trust me, it did work. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. I'm going to carry on adding a few more systems. Like I say, in the background, I'm trying to download or find links for all the systems currently supported by RetroBat. Like I say, it's in the somewhere like 140, 160, something like that. So it's a lot of systems, a lot of very obscure systems. But I've now got, I think I've literally got a handful of systems left. So once I've got those, and then obviously it's a case of adding them in, make sure they work, scraping artwork, filling any gaps in artwork, all that kind of stuff. So it takes a while, but I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to announce, I now have links to a collection, which covers every single game or every single system supported by RetroBat. So obviously not every single game, because like this is a bit more of a best of collection. So some systems obviously aren't full sets. Some systems have thousands of games for them, and like I said before, I prefer to have a sort of more condensed best of, highly rated games, rather than just a load of rubbish that just going to take up space, not going to play it, and then scrolling through endless lists to look through games is just annoying. So yeah, what I try to do is get at least some games for every single system. So yeah, that's coming hopefully soon. Like I say, it takes a while, but anyway, rambling on now. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.